Hi, I'm Bonnie from Classic Real Girl, and I'm here to talk to you today about my favorite pairing of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. It's Follow the Fleet. So, Follow the Fleet is one of my favorites because it shows them in a more down to earth environment, which I know it's a RKO musical that may seem like an oxymoron, but we have Fred playing a sailor, and then Ginger is singing at a dance hall where she also may be a dance hostess. You can't really tell, it's not explicitly said, but that does bring me to my favorite part of the movie, well, one of the favorite parts, where they are on the dance floor and they enter by accident a dance contest. Now, what makes this so cool in my mind is because Hermes Pan, who was the dance director, choreographer of this film, wanted to have actual, real amateur dancers from LA on the dance floor. So he would go and scout the local ballrooms, and RKO actually did have a dance contest. And so the dancers that we see at the end of the sequence in the competition were just everyday people like you or me that might go out to a ballroom and go dancing. Yeah, I know that that's not as common nowadays, but trust me, I love dancing. I would have been out there. I don't know if I would have won the contest and made it into the film, but it's kind of cool to know that I could have had a chance. So I always found that kind of a interesting little tidbit because you do look at the dancers and they do look like everyday people. They're not like chorus girls. So that's kind of an interesting little tidbit there, the ballroom contest. And let's see, something else that I like about that particular dance, because they are in pants, they get to loosen up a little bit more than we see in other dances. And so there's this one part where you have Fred kind of fling Ginger on his hip and then down. And that's it. But if you look at that move and compare it to the swing moves that are going to come and within the next decade, you're going to notice it's very similar to, maybe a Lindy Hop or the East Coast Swing, where one hip, the other hip, and, the scissor up. So you can kind of see the development early on. Fred was hip, Hermes Pan was hip to what was going on. So I love that sequence. And then, of course, it's a Fred and Ginger movie, so there has to be a grand sequence with him in his tux and her in this gorgeous gown. And the gown that she wears is beaded and super heavy, which you can't tell because she dances just completely, very lightly and elegantly. But one of the little trivia that a lot of people may already know, but I'll share it anyways, just in case you didn't, is that her dress was so heavy that when it would whip around, it just had momentum of its own. Well, in one of the takes, the first one actually, of the dance that they do, which is Let's Face the Music and Dance, she turns around and her sleeve whips him in the face, but you can't really see it because Fred doesn't react. He just keeps on going like a trooper. Well, Fred really brought to the film industry, showing the dance not just from head to toe so you could see the whole dance, but in one cut. And he didn't want to stop that cut, so like a trooper, he just kept on going, and it was beautiful. Afterwards, they did refilm it because he didn't know what he did. He didn't know about the reaction or if he had one, which you can't see it if he it would be minimal. Well, they go and they look at later on, and the first cut was the better cut, the superior cut, and that's what we actually get in the film. Now, so a lot of people give him credit for that, but you know what? I gotta give props to Ginger as well, because she was able to dance with that heavy dress and make it look like it was as light as the feather dress that she wears in Cheek to Cheek in, I don't want to get the film wrong, I think it's Top Hat, but I know the song is Cheek to Cheek because, anyways, that's other trivia. So something else unique about that particular dance is it's kind of iconic now. It was, homage was paid to it in Pennies from Heaven, 1981 film starring Steve Martin and Bernadette Peters. So you'll see, they're sitting there in the theater watching it, and then they actually go into the dance. Very cool. And then most recently, the sitcom, CW sitcom Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Rachel Bloom also paid homage to it. So it's a very popular, iconic dance, maybe up there with Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, I would even say, as far as people making it over again in their own vein. Let's see, a couple other cool trivia is you get to see in that dance club a very young Lucille Ball and Betty Grable. And then, of course, it's co-starring Harriet Hilliard, who was from Ozzie and Harriet. So it's pre-Ozzie and Harriet. She's cute as a button. Her voice, I love, is gorgeous because she was a singer prior to. And then Randolph Scott, he's such a cutie as well. So I hope you enjoy the film. Thank you for having me. Bye.